Fanspeak, where the plan runs deep. The team grind hard, don't eat, don't sleep. From best ball dreams to DFS streaks, they help you print money every single week. Fanspeak. No cap, no gimmicks, we breaking limits. NFL bets, yeah, we live this business. Meg and Steve, that OG vision. Draft room killers on a lifelong mission. More stress to the Sunday spread. Fanspeak's that voice that's inside your head. Best ball, DFS, NFL bets. They built it brick by brick, no regrets. Fanspeak team, printing money since day one. Fanspeak, forever.
Welcome back to another Best Ball lunch break. Today we're doing DraftKings, talking about some fades and just doing some drafts in general for DraftKings. Hope everyone is having a good Tuesday morning, afternoon, whatever time it is for you. We'll get into it soon and check out our comments. Of course, Meg, we have the Fanspeak Degen Substack, $34.99 for the year, and then right now you can get 20% off. So check it out now. One-time payment for an entire year. Our ranks, articles, in-season content, etc. And the biggest thing, of course, is the Best Ball Draft Guide. Over 400 pages of work that was put into it. Player breakdowns for every single player. Just going to be really fantastic resource to help you as you build your best ball portfolio this year. We got Mike checking in, a new player on the thumbnail. Yeah, Meg had to mix it up. I'm very proud of her. Very proud of her. So today we'll be doing DraftKings. Last week they were doing a lot of promos. I don't think there's been a promo today unless I missed it. Always good to check DraftKings because they've been dropping a lot of them. So it doesn't look like there's any best ball promos today, but still they have done a just tremendous job sending out promos. As you can see, I have a ticket because of promos from last week. They're actually doing really well. They're almost at 170,000 entries of 940,000. That's a pretty good pace to be honest. So and at the same time, they have their smaller contests. We'll probably do one Best Ball Millionaire today, and then one other smaller contest. I'm going to need to start getting in $3. Last year this thing took forever to fill, but it's 40% filled already. I've not been entering it yet because I wanted to wait, but I might have to start doing some. So, over on DraftKings Best Ball, let me just highlight it. You have a lot of sit and goes and stuff like that, but they do have a good set of prize pools. There's a $100 hot route out now. That just dropped. The luxury box, if you really want to get in there. But the chain mover is one of my favorite. Button hook is good. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do a button hook after this big one. And then these tutties, continue to just fire these away. And I've done a couple of them on stream. They're really, really good contest. Highly recommend that. Very manageable bankroll contest with a nice solid 5K top prize. So let's get into the millionaire contest first. I will count it down when I get to the screen. And, we'll talk about the fades as we get into it. DraftKings drafts take a little longer. Sometimes it can take longer to fill. So let me count it down here, and then we will get to it. So I'm going to enter this draft in 10 seconds, and in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. All right, looks like it might be a fresh room, so sorry for anyone who jumped in previously. Good luck if you got in the draft beforehand. Spunky, that's the $3 play action. I've actually not done any yet. I've been waiting because last year it was the same thing, and I was like, oh, okay, they made it a 20 max, the $3, which I think it had been in previous years, but I didn't realize how big it was, and it was open forever. And they finally, in years past, DraftKings would just keep pumping out $3 ones. So that's what I was thinking, like max the first $3, wait, the next one will come out, et cetera, et cetera. They finally released the second $3 like 3 days before the season started, So I'm waiting more now, but it's feeling that it seems like a better rate than last year. So, and I know in part because they've had a bunch of promos. So, there's tickets for it, but I've not entered any. DJ Quill, what up? Good to see DJ Quill. Draft rooms are wild in $3 DraftKings streets. That I believe. That I totally believe. We got Who Hames in at the fill rate with the $3. Yeah, that's probably the right approach, and that's why I might do one here today after this. Just because I need to start getting some down for sure. So this is about filled. We'll get into this draft shortly, and then probably we'll just do a $3 because I need to start at some point. We got GAB in here. Good to see GAB. Always, you can check out him streaming on his channel, GAB Sports. Of course, Who Hames has his channel. Mac Nova, GM, good to see you. Mike, what up, people? Good to see you, Mike. Fade, James Cook on DK. Does current ADP? I don't know. I think I'm just such a big believer in the Bills and James Cook. Like he can just hit you in a number of ways. Like his passing can increase, his touchdowns honestly can still increase. Like it's going to be one of the highest scoring teams in the league. And if anything, I think the loss of McDermott and honestly some defensive talent, they could be in more shootouts this year. This could be less them like settling for field goals, many of which would get missed in years past, and playing for field goals. I could just see them being more aggressive. So I don't know. I think I do know they obviously added DJ Moore. So there might be more of a shift to the passing attack. But I think James Cook is just locked in for 10 plus touchdowns. And there's only a handful of guys in the league who we can really say that about, is the way I look at it. And he's just such a part of such a big offense. And there's just so many, like he can be effective. He's shown he can be effective in short yardage, even though his size profile would dictate, you wouldn't think that. He's obviously very effective as a receiver. He's explosive, so he can hit home runs. It's just tough for me to fade a guy from top tier offense. The issue with a Bucky is, particularly in DraftKings, Bucky might not be the highest scoring running back on his team. And we're taking him. And oh yes, Best Ball overlay now up for DraftKings. Yes, this is exciting. So definitely check that out. It's in beta now, but it's exciting that we have this option. But the Bucky, because James Cook, like he goes as his ADP is 10. It's essentially the same as underdog, and I just think that there's enough there for him. Particularly if his passing game role actually goes up, it actually helps him on this site. The issue with Bucky, and he is falling, but 59th, the guys who go in front of him, I think, are all clear smashes. The guys who go behind him, more unknown, of course, but have just as big of upside, if not more, some massively so. And the issue to me more is Gainwell goes, 40 spots later. Gainwell has a real chance on DraftKings to outscore Bucky. Unless Bucky gets the touchdown roll, which he probably needs, Gainwell is going to get more targets, probably by a wide margin. Would not be surprising to see Gainwell honestly double Bucky in terms of catches. That's gonna be a lot of points there that I just don't know Bucky's gonna make up. And the fact that it's a 3-man backfield, it lessens the chance of Bucky having a lot of 100-yard games. I'm sure he'll still have a couple and probably will have more than Gainwell. But I just don't think it's not like I think Bucky's going to come out here and have like 700-800 yard games, right? So, if Gainwell has 30, 40 more catches than Bucky, that's just a lot of points. And then his combined yards are probably going to be very similar to Bucky. So could come down to touchdowns, and in which case, honestly, the favor might go Gainwell's way as well. So I will take Jonathan Taylor over Cook. I do like Genty, though. I think there's a strong case for Genty. 3 picks to go. I'm going to take one of these 3 running backs. ASB also in the mix, which ASB is tough to pass on DraftKings. So that should be Mike in chat, buddy man. Whatever he decides, I'll probably go opposite, I'm guessing. He takes Taylor. I'll take ASB. We got McNova in here also. After I make this pick, I'll pull up the board, see who else jumped in. I think I saw Spunky in here. So Mac at the turn here. I do think the early second round on DraftKings becomes interesting because we have London going much higher here. Is that worth it over A-Chain and Hampton? That's a tough call. I think I'm going to go Kenneth Walker here. So let's see. Who else do we get in here? Yeah, we got Spunky at the 3. Buddy Man, Mike there at the 9, and McNova at the turn. If anyone else jumped in, let me know. Nice, appreciate that. Done 13 of my 20 entries, yeah. I'm not fading Kenneth Walker, but I'm only sprinkling him occasionally. It's interesting. See, I actually think on DraftKings especially, Kenneth Walker is really good. I think Kenneth Walker is going to end up in that second tier, of running back catches. That first tier will be some order of McCaffrey, Bijan, and Gibbs. I think that's pretty likely. And then there's probably a slight tier gap. But Kenneth Walker could be in that 70-ish catch type range. Honestly kind of like what Gainwell did last year for the Steelers. So I just could kind of see Walker, if not leading, being one of the leaders in that range. Obviously, I think he'll have some 100-yard equity in this offense without a lot of competition. Touchdowns, I think, are the big question mark. In the past, they've had more of a touchdown hammer type back. Currently, that guy is not on the team. I don't know if they bring back Kenneth Hunt for that singular role, or they bring in somebody else. But I just think Walker is in a position to kind of set career highs across the board. And in particular, Hames and I have talked about this. There's just no way Mahomes is going to run for 400 or 500 yards like he typically does. So I think a lot of those turn into screens, instead of scrambles. I think he's going to be dumping the ball off. So I think that helps Walker. I think that helps Kelsey. And assuming he's on the field, that helps Rice and Worthy. But just short dump offs. But Kenneth Walker probably benefits the most from that, is the way I look at it. Yeah, I mean, I think Brown versus Cook is, I think any of those receivers on DraftKings versus Cook makes sense. But if you get into the position like we did here, where it's Cook, Genty, Barkley, Henry, Walker, A-Chain's going to catch more, and A-Chain would be the other one who could be in that top tier, but honestly, probably more likely lead tier 2 of running backs receiving. And I guess my thing is Cook can be in this tier. I know last year his targets went down a bit. I could see them going back up. Like I said, I just think the offense could get more opened. But yeah, if you're saying James Cook versus Amon-Ra, I'm going to take Amon-Ra. and same with Lamb, same with Jefferson. Like, I'm taking one of these receivers over James Cook. But I think at the end, the turn here, I think it's still very fair for him. But I think it's just a little closer here because, yeah, like you can make a stronger case for Achane and Walker here. Henry is the one that surprises me that gets pulled up here. Now, he has pretty damn good 100-yard equity. We know that, but just not a big pass volume guy. And even if he leads in touchdowns, you could see an Achane or a Walker behind him outscore him. So I'm at 0-1-1. Go T. Higgins. Again, just insanely good passing offense. Detroit Bengals, they should have two of the best passing offenses in the league. Getting one of their top targets in both feels good. And just another, quarterback option. Do the same buy. So I'm probably not getting both Goff and Burrow type thing, but that's fine. All right. So waiting for it on DK. Nice. Yeah. Overlay on DK is sweet. Agreed. Gainwell moved to pick 85 on drafters. Yeah, he has been moving up on drafters. I didn't realize it was that high. I'm in a bunch of slows on drafters. So yeah, I think I will take Travis Achane, the other Achane here, who, even with Kamara back, could have a very real passing role. And let me go back to the draft board and chat. No, he absolutely could, Spunky. Sean Tucker is potentially a touchdown vulture, and to me that hurts Bucky more than Gainwell, because Gainwell has at least the passing game role to help balance it out, especially on DraftKings. And just also especially reflective of ADP. Like, sure, if you told me Bucky was going 75th and Gainwell 85th, I could be more in line for Bucky. But right now, the 40 pick gap between them, and that's 3.5 rounds. That is a massive. I would just easily double down on Gainwell at a 3.5 round discount. The 2v2 that you're getting between, the potential Bucks #1 running back in this early to mid 5th round, and the 9th round is pretty massive. We got Nice and Blunt checking in. Good morning, Steve. Nice and Blunt, I know he and I are gonna probably do some streaming together soon. We'll let you know when that is occurring, but I'm looking forward to it. He had Meg on, and then Meg had him on, and both shows are great, so I'm looking forward to it. Always enjoy his content, so yeah, definitely looking forward to talking some ball with him. Close to having Genty at 7 on DK. I can't totally argue against that. Like, I think Genty could have a really nice passing role on the team. In fact, some of his best games last year were when they'd utilize him in that role. I think people forget how good he can be in a passing game. So, he could just be a total feature franchise back for sure. And the Raiders' offensive line getting healthier, improving their offensive line, improving just just across the board, the coordinator, coaching, quarterback play. Cousins and Mendoza, to me, it doesn't matter. They're going to be better than Geno, particularly the Geno we saw last year. Maybe Geno has bounced back this year, but it would not be hard to be better than what Geno was last year. And it's just so many drives got killed from those Geno interceptions and sacks and stuff like that. And they're improving in both those areas by significant margin. It's just going to open up more opportunities for Genty to get touchdowns and to score. And this is more underdog scoring, but he had over 200 points. It's not like Genty was just a bad pick. He had over 200 points last year and easily could be in line for a bigger year. So, I'm going to take Cardinal Tate. I really like Trayvon Henderson. Don't mind Price. Don't mind Warren. Though I devalue tight end a little bit on DraftKings, especially tight ends not named Brock Bowers. But to me, like Parker Washington, Tootin, there's just too much uncertainty there. Marvin Harrison's fine, but I've said it before. I just could see Tate gain 130 to 150 targets fairly easily in this offense. And I just want to be ahead of market. The fact that, I just took him at, what was that, 59? 58. Last year we're taking Tedero McMillan at like 48. And is there a big gap between McMillan and Tate? I actually don't really think so. So Warren's still there. May is obviously intriguing. I think I will go May. The ability to be an elite quarterback is tempting. Yes, I didn't get the primary stack in DJ Moore, but there are secondary and tertiary stacks I can get. And even if not, anytime you can get, a quarterback with real legitimate top 5, if not top 3 upside at, probably a value discount, I think it's worth, it's worth investing in. So yeah, where did AJ Brown is going higher in DK 19, and that I actually think it makes a lot of sense here. I like the Brown over London take honestly as well. Yeah, no, that is fortunately the name of the beast on DraftKings is a lot more uncorrelated picks, and in part because with 20 rounds, like everyone knows quarterbacks will run out here. Sometimes in 18-round drafts, we've still seen sometimes, definitely not in drafts that Meg's in, but we've still seen sometimes where like Aaron Rodgers will last around 17. It's rare. It's very rare. But sometimes you get that. Sometimes people play chicken with the quarterbacks. Here, it's the opposite. Like nobody wants to be, it is more like musical chairs. Like nobody wants to be the last person standing without, a third quarterback. So, or a viable quarterback room. So you will start to see quarterbacks go up a little higher. Yeah, Higgins in the 4th feels really good. Obviously you have to do some manipulating of data, but if you look at times when he's healthy and when Burrow's healthy, he's essentially a top 10 receiver. I got him well beyond being a top 10 receiver. I know, Burrow's health is a big factor in this. We saw those games with Jake Browning. Wasn't great, but we did see Joe Flacco stabilize, and Higgins was pretty good in those games as well. So, that's what they got again. Joe Flacco behind Burrow. That makes me actually feel pretty even better about it. Like I said, we have 6 receivers in the first round, another 4 in the second round. That's 10 right there. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ahead of him. So I got him as wide receiver 16, and a guy who, when those two things happen, him healthy, Burrow healthy, he's essentially a top 10 guy. And I do think Flacco showed enough, and just in general, Flacco's track record. I mean, we've seen this, the receiver production with the Colts was better with Flacco than Anthony Richardson. The receiver production for the Browns and tight end and Njoku as well was better for the Browns than it was with Deshaun Watson. So Flacco is, he's up there, but he's still one of the better backup quarterbacks in this league. I think that's unquestionable. All right. Not sure about McCollum. I will start taking a little bit more Michael Wilson. I know some of those reports, like he'll be used like the Puka or Cup, feels a little sensationalist, but I do think he is the clear number 2 on this team. And even if that makes him the number 3 pass catcher, there's still value here. They are going to be behind. I don't think they lead the league in pass attempts, but they'll probably be middle of the packish. There's just not a lot of competition behind him. And I do think he showed something. Him versus Mekhi Lemon, honestly, I think I'm going to take Michael Wilson a lot. I'm probably going to be moving him up in my ranks. I'm going to be tweaking some ranks tomorrow. And I don't want to be too over ahead of market on him, but I also don't want to be totally behind on him either. We'll go my guy Rico. I want a third running back. And I honestly this is one of my favorite build structures with DraftKings. Like, sure, 4 receivers, but I want a good running back in there who is ensuring that I'm having a really good floor for running back production, and also just somebody else who can really challenge the flex. And I think I got that there. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Been seeing that in the last few spots. We had Hartman checking in. No, I was actually thinking the same thing, Mike. This draft is moving at a pretty good pace. Sometimes DraftKings draft, it's like everyone takes the full 30 seconds and it takes a while. But this one's moving, we're almost into the 9th round already. It's about halfway there in essentially 20 minutes. Chiato, how do you feel about Tucker Kraft? I mean, I really like Tucker Kraft, compared to like some of the other tight ends. Kraft was in line to be tight end 2 last year, and maybe even had an outside chance of being tight end 1. Probably not, but you never know. Before that injury, had put up some monster games, so I think there's some real scaling games. The Packers passing options have actually gotten thinner this year with, Romeo Doubs and Wicks gone. He's still 3 starting capable wide receivers, but I just think Kraft could even be in line for a bigger role. More of a focal point, particularly in the red zone where Romeo Doubs was a pretty big weapon. So, Kraft is a guy who could really stack touchdowns this year. And even more so if anything does occur in the Josh Jacobs situation. Quarterbacks just mean more in DK because of bonuses. Yeah. Good quarterbacks, good passing quarterbacks like the Staffords, the Goffs, Mahomes this year, who probably isn't going to have much rushing upside, but Mahomes could have 5, 6 300-yard games. So, that adds up to a lot of points and helps balance some things out versus, some more of just the rushing quarterbacks. Got Keith in here. Good afternoon. Fading A-Chain. Yeah, I mean, I think on DraftKings, it's a little bit more viable. Just, again, the passing upside. he's not somebody that I'm going to fade, but I probably will be underweight on. So one quarterback. Let's get Goff here. So May, Goff, that feels a good combo. Running back has gotten thin. Jonathan Brooks has gone up real high in DraftKings, like 107. That's probably a little too much. I like this next group of running backs a bit better. It's kind of a reach for them. I think wide receiver here makes a lot of sense. Could do Romeo. I don't feel the need to have to stack. Tight end. Kelsey would be who I'd do. Yeah, I'm actually going to do Kelsey. I know I don't know a lot on DK drafts, but I think he's the guy that has some real value here. Like, Kelsey can have 100 plus targets. As I said before, I think the lack of Mahomes scrambling and running is going to be just they're going to take it out of the playbook more by just setting up some more quick, short passing. I think Kelsey can be the big beneficiary of that. Of course, you have, as Meg calls it, the last dance, for Aaron Rodgers. I think it's the same thing for Kelsey. Like, Kelsey it's not coming back here to get 60 targets. Like, he's not here to split time with Noah Gray and, whoever else they have on the team. It's also why I never thought they were going to draft like Sadiq or Stellars or anyone like that. Like, Kelsey's in it to win it, and I think he's going to look to go out in style. So I could see him having not a career year, because he said it's just some insane tight end years, but there is an outcome where Kelsey's tight end 1. I think it's more likely he's 2, 3, 4, 5, but don't be shocked if Mahomes is just start feeding him targets in the red zone. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, you can build some really good teams, but you're going to need quarterbacks at some point. And if you wait too long, then it feels really thin. Yeah, I have been kind of down on Wilson. I think where the board was there, and I just realized my exposure is really low on the guy. I want to start getting some. Is kind of where I'm at. Like, I have a few picks here. So, the tough thing with Michael Wilson is, like, I don't think it's going to be a great offense, but I do think they're, going to throw an okay amount. I think he's the third piece in the offense. I think if you really look at it, probably McBride's the one who's most mispriced, because you have, you have Marv in the 60s, Wilson in the 80s. I think Wilson in the 80s is a thing. Like, could I have taken Godwin over him? Sure. But I was going to take Wilson over Lemon, Wilson over Addison. I honestly think Reed probably should move up here. And it becomes more of a debate. I think Wilson's probably a better pick, more late 80s. But I just realized the other day that I have, like, very, very little Michael Wilson. I'll take Concepcion here. So I'm at 2, 3, 5, 1. I think Concepcion just goes way too late, especially on DraftKings, where, underdog, you can question, well, how many touchdowns is his offense producing? But on DraftKings, Concepcion, 120, 130 targets, I think is very, very live for him. And just not many receivers in this range have that kind of outcome. Like, maybe Diggs, if he gets the right signing spot, but Jane Higgins doesn't really. McMillan definitely doesn't. Shaheed doesn't. Cooper doesn't. Jenny, none of these other guys. Potentially one of Naylor or Tucker can get into that range, but that's about it. So I just think there's a bit of a tier break there with a guy like Concepcion. I will take Cam Ward. I got the Carnell Tate stack. get a third quarterback who I like, or at least like enough. I think where Cam Ward's going, he's fine. Like, probably not a ton of upside, but I think it'd be just a consistent, solid number 3 quarterback. Pittman over both, that's fair. No, I mean, I like Pittman. I just have a big bag of Pittman. And honestly, I think Jacoby Myers, Wandale, on this is DraftKings specifically, also could be above Michael Wilson. To be fair, Wandale could really rack up targets and catches as well, and Myers too. Like, I mean, Parker Washington's going so high, but it's Jacoby Myers who got paid. So we'll see how that breaks down. But no, I think Michael Pittman is just fantastic. I mean, the Steelers offense, passing offense, it should not shock anyone if it's top 10 in the league, even pushing top 5. I know people think that's a crazy take, but that's what we've seen with a healthy Dak in Dallas. With Mike McCarthy, I don't know why we're discounting it so much if Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy. They have the weapons, they have the coaching, they have a quarterback. Like, Rodgers is still very effective. He's not, is he MVP Rodgers? No, but I think could still be good Rodgers. We got Paulino checking in. Good to see you. My biggest fade post-draft is McMillan. Yeah. And, I like McMillan, but I don't love the Panthers offense. They were very anemic last year. And the one real explosive piece was Rico, and he's gone. And as you said, McMillan just goes in this range, even on DraftKings here, obviously the falling neighbors, Burden, which offense do we feel better about, Bears or Carolina? Particularly on DraftKings, maybe McMillan can just get 9-10 touchdowns, being a big physical receiver, and that puts him above Burden. But I don't know, and if you want that profile, go for Devontae Adams. Honestly, go for Mike Evans. I honestly don't know why Mike Evans went so late. McMillan just feels like he should go around later. All right, I'm coming up here. I think I would love to get tight end. Maybe I'm done with Hunter Henry. So, and as you see, BBO, it's different on this site. Obviously, it has to be, but you still see the playoff matchups. You can still hover over. You can see what the correlation is with the various quarterbacks. So, it's a fun thing. And I know it's their first go around with DraftKings, so I'm sure there's some things to work out. But from what I see so far, it looks nice. I need to upload my portfolio now. Most of my portfolio is slows, so it's not going to be many in total yet. So I think I go Algier here. Get a 4th running back. I feel pretty good about. I'm obviously done at quarterback. I could be done at tight end if I need to. Could definitely tack on a 3rd. Kelsey thinks he isn't splitting time, but he has lost a step. He's a touchdown reliant tight end now. I guess Huckleberry, I don't know. I mean, he finished 3rd in total points in tight ends, and this is half point last year. 3rd in total points for tight ends last year, and I think it was 9th in points per game. And he honestly didn't have that many touchdowns, in part because he didn't get a single touchdown after Mahomes left. So I actually don't know if he's just solely that dependent. And I mean, most tight ends are dependent on touchdowns. Like, that's why Chig goes as late as he is because he's just never scored touchdowns. Now, maybe that occurs with a more full-time role. Likely his touchdowns could go up. So, I mean, I get like some of these guys are more intriguing for sure, but most tight ends are very touchdown dependent. I actually think Kelsey is going to be one of the few tight ends who you can kind of like pretty much lock in 100 plus targets. Bowers, McBride, Loveland's probably in that. Kyle Pitts probably, handful of others, but Kelsey could get 100, 120 targets, and I just don't see many other tight ends particularly go after him that can get that kind of range. One of the few is much later, Dalton Schultz. Get JT in here. What's going on? I don't watch college football and have yet to see anything in the NFL to suggest Wilson shouldn't be far ahead of Marv. I mean, I guess a part of it is Wilson's been in the league longer. Marv actually had a good rookie year. Like, I know, like in terms of like big time fantasy production, it was 1 game, 2 games kind of. But overall, his numbers were pretty good. 800 plus yards, like 7-8 touchdowns as a rookie. Most rookie receivers kill for those numbers. Last year, I think things just went down a bad path with Marv. He had a couple injuries, concussion, another injury. Wilson kind of took on a bigger role. And then, half of Marv's healthy games was at a time when they weren't throwing as much. They were throwing like 45, 50 times down the stretch. And some of those games Marv missed. So it's also like opportunity. He didn't get the opportunity that others got, like McBride and Wilson. Debo or Tesla? I think I can go with the upside here. We'll go Debo. So Trey Harris goes. Sean Tucker is, I think, fine in this range, just not my favorite. I'm going to go Gunnar Helm. I will get the third tight end. It's also another stack. So I really, really like my tight end room now. Receiver room, 6 guys. Debo's the 6, feels pretty good. Running back is thinner, but I think I'm easily on pace. And quarterback, I'm done. So, I think Marv needs to really show more, really show that he can do it? Sure. But I still think he's better than Michael Wilson. Like, Michael Wilson has historically been undervalued, and I think he's a good receiver. But Marv does, I think, still have a higher upside. Keep taking a Cam Tate if those guys are there. Yeah, that feels like a very easy to get stack for your second and third quarterback. Damn, I wish I knew you were doing DK Milly. I've been destroying streamers lately. I'm just that good. Good to see you, Cards. Cards, as the Cards fan, where are you on the Marv Wilson debates? I'm struggling on the grammar today. I like Pittman too. Aaron isn't looking to take too many hits out there. He's going to love him some Pittman. Yeah. And I mean, Rodgers loves great route runners, and that is Michael Pittman. Like, Michael Pittman is just the guy who can get open. I think people are too down on his connection to DK Metcalf. I think he was fairly strong last year. I think he had DK Metcalf doing stuff he'd never done before. We'll see if Mike McCarthy has him running those crossers and things of that nature as well. But I just think this playbook opens up way more with Mike McCarthy and Brian Angelico. and Rodgers. And I do think it is, again, to the last dance point, like Aaron Rodgers didn't come back here to hand the ball off to Jaylen Warren for 3 yards every other down. And I also don't think it's going to be Jaylen Warren. So I think it's going to be a more dynamic, explosive offense for sure. Two-step drop Rodgers. Yeah, I think there's some of that, but it's also he's going to put the ball in a place to allows receivers to move the football, get yards after the catch. Top 5 passing offense, like total offense. I think their running game's fine, but their running game's nowhere on the level of the JTs, Bijans, et cetera, Gibbs, et cetera. So, but passing offense, passing volume, passing offense, it absolutely could be. Rodgers, up until he had the wrist injury last year, and this is in an Arthur Smith offense with one viable wide receiver, he was top 5 in touchdown percentage. Then that went down after that wrist injury for sure, but it's his completion percentage is always strong. I just think the raw numbers were slightly down, but honestly, if he was throwing more, he easily would have had 30 plus touchdowns. They just didn't throw much. Volume is king. When we know he's efficient, the issue is volume. And the volume should go up. Let's go with Braylon Allen. $3,563. Get the genes to be great. Mark breaking it. I actually think he could. I also think I'll get to the comment. Let me make this picks. Don't want to after Mac makes these picks. I think people heard those comments about Michael Wilson being utilized more in the Puka Cup type role and Marv being the true X and thinking that's a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Speaking of, Brandon Ayuk is the auto draft right now. Speaking of true X's in this style of offense, we've seen this. We've seen what Brandon Ayuk, we've seen what Devontae Adams can do. Oof, this is not a fun range. I'm just going to take Mike Washington. That's a bit of a panic pick. But I don't mind his value this late. I wanted a 6 running back. I think I'll just end on 2 receivers just because I didn't love anything right there. And so, Brandon Ayuk being one of the more recent examples, Devontae Adams being a recent example. We've seen it in other forms with different styles of receivers, in the McVay, Shanahan tree. I just think people are just so apt to think you just have to be in this Cooper Kupp / Puka Nacua role to pay off in this offense. And yes, others have, Debo in that kind of slot utility role for sure, paid off for Shanahan. But we, and not just Devontae Adams with Sean McVay, we saw it with Devontae Adams with LaFleur's brother, Matt LaFleur. So I just think, Marv is just as good of an opportunity to be in that vein as Devontae Adams, the Brandon Ayuk's, etc. I think it's a real good thing, and I think the coaching staff is very positive for him. Quarterback play is going to be questionable, but he's got full opportunity here to take advantage of it. People are not giving enough credit to the Pitt coaching turnover. Yeah, no, that's what we're just talking a light year difference. One of the most, I think Mike Tomlin was very very good NFL coach, but like a lot of defense coaches, he's and an old school guy. He's a very, very, very conservative. Same issue I was talking about Sean McDermott before. So they were just constantly going for 50-yard Boswell field goals. Now they could be playing for, let's score touchdowns. Let's go for the win, not just like, we're not looking to win 20-17. We're looking to win, 35-20. And I just think that's more the Mike McCarthy mentality. And it's also the fact that it's a system that Rodgers has thrived in before. That also helps. I mean, we would be happy with just about any quarterback getting Mike McCarthy as a coaching upgrade, outside of a handful of ones who are in really good situations. But we should be doubly happy when it's a guy who's literally thrived in this before. So just tacking on some receivers here. It gets thin. There's no question there. That's thinner than I thought it would be. I've done one or two Odell Beckham shares. I think I will take another one here. And I think I will go Jack Besh. I like guys like Tolbert, Brandon Thompson, Jack Besh way more than what's at the top of the board here. Even more guys going down, I think are a lot more in play. Like Kyle Williams, I'm surprised goes so late on DraftKings, and that obviously could have been another one. I think Boutte moves on, and it comes down to Kyle Williams versus Demario Douglas probably for the slot. But I'll take Jack Besh there. That playoff game was gross. Who was number one in that game? I think Roman Wilson. Yeah. There'll be a new injury. He's 43 and slow. But here's the thing, like, I know the Achilles a couple years ago, but the wrist injury, that, that's not something that's like very repeatable. He's had a couple injuries in his career, but if you look at it, he's way healthier than a lot of quarterbacks out there. I don't think age is the factor here. Lamar has missed significant time in 3 of the last 5 years. Obviously Jaden Daniels got hurt a lot. Brock Purdy, what a fantastic Mr. Irrelevant story, but the dude has had some major injuries. Jackson Dart, I think he's a fun second-year guy, but he was Mr. Blue Tent last year. So to me, Rodgers is much healthier than a lot of quarterbacks out there. I don't know. Like, I'm not too worried about it. Because also, like, that's not an injury that can be like a progressive thing. Like, Mahomes, Daniel Jones, these guys who we're drafting, they're going to have way more significant injuries and things that can impact them this next year. I like it Mitch J over Wilson, but we'll take Wilson if he falls and is after. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm getting to. I hate my team. Just went this draft and Mike just sniped Steve's pick. Should have. End of the draft was Barron at wide receiver. Yes, it was. And I meant to upload my DraftKings ranks because, wide receiver at the end is wild. I agree with this. Like, Steelers, speaking of nice and blunt, Meg was on nice and blunt. They went through the Steelers schedule, and Steelers have a very, very good early season schedule. So, Eliminator or in formats like, Drafters or Marathon, Rodgers could be putting up some, really nice numbers early on. I mean, he did it last year. In the first half of the year, he had 2 very good games. Week 1 against the Jets, there's a lot of quarterbacks he outscored. And then that game against the Bengals, that was actually kind of a high-scoring quarterback week, but again, you can't account for that. He had a really good game. He had like 24, 25 points that game. So, you could see the same sort of thing this year with some really strong early performances. 78% of Rodgers and eliminator. Wow. All right, let's look at these teams in here. I will show the board. Real quick. But yeah, boy, receivers. McNova just absolutely taking all the receivers at the end. And this does show the difference between 20 rounds and 18 rounds. Because like guys who were like, oh yeah, 17th, 18th round, Wicks, Coleman, those feel great. But then after then, boy, does it get thin. All right. Let me go back to my team. 3-6-8-3. Quarterbacks Drake May, Cam Ward, and Jared Goff. I think that's a very strong quarterback room. A guy like Goff, who is kind of like Mr. Steady, 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. May obviously is the rushing upside. Cam Ward is the second-year guy, new offense, could be fun. So I like how the quarterback room came together. Running back room: Kenneth Walker, Travis Etienne, Rico Dowdle, kind of like the three backs I'm really relying on. Then Tyler Algier, number 2 back. Braylon Allen, probably number 2 back. Mike Washington Jr., likely number 2 back. So, I think the running back room turns out pretty well. I probably will need Rico to help fill the flex in this team because I do think wide receiver thins out a little bit too much, but still strong overall. Because my wide receiver room: ASB, Higgins, Tate, Michael Wilson, not great, but 4 in the top 80-ish. Concepcion, I think, is a fine pick. Debo, I think, is great as wide receiver 6, and then rounding it out with Odell Beckham and Jack Besh. So gets thin there. That is the tough thing with these drafts is wide receiver. There's just a lot of question marks on a lot of teams, like number 2, but number 3, number 4 guys. So get the wrong ones, you're not going to get many points. Tight end wise, Kelsey, as I talked about before, I like his value, and then I stacked the other 2, Henry and Gunnar Helm. So 3 starting tight ends, 3 guys who should see real volume. Hunter Henry had one of the best red zone roles last year. I could see both him and Kelsey being that again. Overall, not my favorite team, but I think it's strong in every area. We'll just go in order of these. Budding man here, Mike. Quarterbacks. He goes 3-6-8-3. Also Hurts, Darnold, and Geno. Running back room: JT, A-Chain, Ramondre Stevenson, Javonte Williams, and Manuel Wilson, and Damon Claiborne. So overall, kind of the same as me, like, double. He went double anchor, but has a third, and honestly, in his case, a 4th back that feels pretty good about with Williams and Stevenson. So a little stronger there at running back, and then 2 late shots in the mix. Quarterback wise, I think it was strong, very solid as well, with Hurts as like your upside play. Darnold is like the, high floor guy. And then Geno's just like the third option, which I think generally is the right call. Receiver wise, Devonta Smith, Christian Watson, QJ, and then Diggs, Tank Dell, Torrey Horton, Pat Bryant, Chris Bell. Yeah. It is like it's kind of thing where you're definitely going to need Javonte and Stevenson to really man the flex position, just because there's just not a lot of depth there. I think Diggs is obviously a great pick, but beyond that, it's like relying on Tank Dell, relying on Torrey Horton. These guys might not even be number 3s on their team. Pat Bryant's kind of the same. Chris Bell, I think, is a fun late click, but I think I'm guessing that's partly what you were saying about not loving your team is, maybe some of the lack of wide receiver firepower there. when QJ's your number 3. That's definitely not my favorite. I do like Smith and Watson quite a bit, but I would want, and if I was going with QJ as like my number 3 and Diggs as my 4, I probably would have won at least a 9th receiver, but it did just really dry up, so I get it. Tight end wise, your tight ends are very strong. Just seeing Sam Laporta, George Kittle, and Brendan Strange easily covering Kittle, coming back from injury, and of course late in the year, going to be very, very strong. Next we have Spunky and then Mac Nova. Spunky 3773. So quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers. So 3 starting quarterbacks, guys some we talked about today. And just to the point, like to Sweetley's point about Aaron Rodgers and the injury, I think Rodgers is the healthiest option of those 3. He's the oldest. But, obviously injuries can happen in any way, shape, or form. But running back, Tony Pollard, Blake Corum, his top 2 guys. Aaron Jones, Rashard White, very good, DraftKings type backs. I think they add more value here. Brian Robinson Jr., Sean Tucker, Kamani Vidal. So I understand why you went 7 for sure. When Corum is your number 2, like he can be a solid back, but probably doesn't have a lot of like ceiling games. Running back points are going to be tough. This is the type of team where your flex is going to have to come from the receiver position, because I just don't see it many times hitting from the running back room. But your receivers here, as I can see, are very strong. Chase, Pickens, Flowers, Devontae Adams, Jalen McMillan, Tyquan Thornton, and Brennan Thompson. So thins out a little at the end, but your top 4 are exceedingly strong, and you're just going to, for this team to work, I always try and look at, how does this team win? It's these 4 guys are, what they were last year, right? Like Devontae Adams, even with the injury, was, a top 15 guy, and, Zay Flowers finished strong. George Pickens had a great year. Chase had a great year, particularly when Burrow was healthy. So, those 4 finishes they did last year, this team's fine. If anything happens, then, it thins out a bit, just because there's not a lot of wide receiver firepower backing them up. And then tight end wise, Tyler Warren, Dalton Schultz, and Pat Freiermuth. I think that's a very strong tight end room. So I don't think you're going to have any issues there at all. One concern, this is why sometimes I'm a little bit more open to like 2 tight ends, is you're just not going to get a lot of flex scoring from the tight end position, given the full point PPR, given the 100-yard bonuses. So I would have been okay, like when you're taking a guy like Warren and investing that early, just stopping at 2, like, Warren and Schultz or Warren and Freiermuth, if that's the way you wanted to go, and maybe adding 1 more receiver. But I think it's fine how you did it. Then Mac Nova here, 3-4-10-3. So very different build there. Quarterbacks, Herbert, Purdy, and Malik Willis. So very, very strong quarterback room. Herbert and Purdy, we know what they can do. And of course, Malik Willis just has this big time spike week upside. Running back room went hyper fragile here. Genty, Barkley, Henderson, and Tootin. 4 different buys, 4 guys pretty early. I don't do a lot of 4 running back teams on DK out of 20 rounds, but I get it. Yeah, I mean, Genty and Barkley especially can just be 2 of the top 5 backs, if not at worst, 2 of the top 10. Of course, Henderson and Tootin offer a lot of spike week upside. Receiver-wise, you go 10, Garrett Wilson, Malik Neighbors, Ricky Pearsall, Travis Hunter, Stribling, Trey Harris, Dontavian Wicks, Keon Coleman, Rashard Bateman, and Caleb Douglas. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of like a, 2 of the top 10 guys. It's kind of 3-man starters, and then just throwing 7 depth guys with some young or interesting roles, guys like Hunter, Trey Harris, even Stribling. I'm not as high in him, but Kieran Coleman. It's just like a lot of upside swings. I definitely understand the volume aspect, and even like handcuffing the San Francisco situation a little bit, Stribling and Pearsall. I'm one of the big concerns with Pearsall is obviously his injuries. Not that the shooting is something you could account for, but he's missed significant time. So Stribling as an insurance policy, I think, makes some sense there. And then tight end wise, 3 of them: Fannin, Juwan Johnson, and Gadsden. So Gadsden stacked up, Fannin and Juwan Johnson. Fannin's price is kind of like the only concern for me, but it has been falling. Brown's offense obviously isn't my favorite, but I don't want 0 of a talented guy like Fannin. And Gadsden, I think when you got guys like Gadsden and Fannin, even though you paid decent prices for them, I like still having a third tight end, just because there's just a lot of uncertainty with both of their roles. Fannin due to quarterback, Gadsden due to Njoku. Got caught with naked Gino. Not great. Yeah, I still think it's one of those that helps push you through. Is one of those things, like covering bye weeks, covering an injury here or there. It can still be pretty valuable. Mac, yeah, that's why he took 10. Yeah, I mean I like unique builds, so it's definitely a unique build structure. We got OMG Godlike in here. YOLO, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. We will jump into another draft, but we'll just do a $3. I need to get into the $3 streets here. Quill was saying they're pretty wild, and I believe it, knowing the history on DK. So I will be entering the play action here. And I'm going to count it down. I'm going to enter in 10 seconds, and in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. All right, this should hopefully fill fast. I know Meg called me today. She was excited that Cam Scatteraboo, more buzz and news about the Cam Scatteraboo. So I'm sure you'll be hearing plenty about that. But, we are getting into the OTAs and things of that nature. We'll start to hear more, I think, actionable news. Some unfortunate being injuries, but some, like I saw today, Terry McLaurin right now is not participating. I don't think that's anything major, but just something to, we need to just keep watch on these things. So I'm in here. I get the 4th spot. OMG Godlike got in the 12th spot. Spunky in the 7th. Let me know if anyone else got in here. I don't recognize anyone's name, but I know sometimes names are different on DK. All right, here. So I'm in the 4th spot. For me, I still think there is a tier gap between these 3 guys. And then I think it's Puka, JSN, and McCaffrey are kind of like the next three. So if one of those three guys fall, taking them. If not, I'll decide between these next three. I probably will go Puka because I think I do more JSN than Puka. But maybe we get lucky. I'd love Gibbs to fall to 4. Wait, what? DJ Moore went 3rd overall. All right. Yeah, DJ Quill. DJ Quill was right. Yeah, I like to mix it up. I already maxed it. Yeah, I'm just starting it. Of course, MacNova. That's part of being a Fanspeak member always. But enjoy drafting with you. Yeah, fun draft. Browns fan in the 11th spot. Just glad I'm far away from you in this draft. Damn, oh, sorry, Ames. Already you can see it's going to be fire when DJ Moore goes 3rd overall. Yes. I mean, no, I think DJ Moore has tremendous value. Because his ADP is so low, but doesn't mean take him 3rd overall. It's just wild. Like, is it going to shock me if DJ Moore is a top 10 receiver this year? Is it going to shock me if he's like 5th? No. But even if you told me there's a 50% chance of him being 5th, there's no way I'm taking him as the 5th receiver. I don't think he's got a 50% chance of being the 5th overall receiver. It's just such a wild early pick. Like, I was hoping they would take Puka or JSN. Hell, even the Monroe. Interesting. Just don't know what to say. DJ Moore's what you need. I may be broke. I actually have pretty good. More on underdog, and a little on drafters. But I have a good bag of DJ Moore. It's just I have a good bag of him because I got him in the 5th round. DJ, give me more. I mean, I might. We'll see who gets back to me. Allen does go. It is tough that, like, Allen goes significantly higher. Not significantly, but it feels higher because a lot of times he is in this, like, late 2nd. And Jackson still kind of goes in the same range, though slightly higher himself. I guess I'll let him get the DJ Moore click. Chase Brown, Henry, both feel good. London, I love that option. AJ Brown goes. That's who I really was hoping for. A Gibbs AJ Brown start would be real fun. And I think Bowers is actually very live. I think I'm going to go Bowers here because I think the gap between Bowers and McBride, who he went 14, is even bigger in here than it is underdog. I'm sorry, I just don't see Trey McBride getting like 150 targets again this year, and I think Bowers still could. Bowers from a per game standpoint was pretty good, especially dealing with those injuries. like I said before, everything just gets better. It's the same argument as with Genti. It's just the offense is going to be so much better. Like the scoring opportunities are going to be so much higher when Gino's not throwing 3 picks a game. All right, let me make this pick in a second. I will get back to chat. Ooh, I could get a London coming back. So DJ Moore, Rasheed Rice. I'm sure he's taking Josh Allen now. Nope. Okay. I mean, I'm going to take Drake London though, but if you're going to pull up DJ Moore and you pass on 2 shots at Josh Allen, all right, let me catch up with chat. Gibbs and DJ Moore teams don't have a chance. That may be worse than you taking A-Rod in Meg's draft. Hartman asking the question, why did we take Darnold's wide receiver 1 over Allen's? It's fair. It's very fair. Raptor just wants unique combos. He's getting those. I will tell you that. I mean, I like Luther Burn a lot, but Luther Burn in 27 is that's an interesting take. He had Josh Allen DK main team, but he actually fell to 34-35 and he still hated it. Yeah, I mean, I like Allen a little bit more on DK because of the 100-yard bonus, especially if they do open up the passing game a bit more. That's the one concern with Lamar is he just doesn't have a lot of 300-yard games in his career. And, he's got a couple 100-yard rushing games, but not near as much to balance out. So, that's one of the reasons why there could be a bigger gap between Allen and Lamar in general is, in terms of like bonus games, even if you include Lamar's 100-yard rushing games, Allen could double or triple. He could have 6 300-yard games and Lamar 2. But yeah, I much rather Allen in the 30s. One player just take 103. Yes, I understand. Don't worry, he's talking DJ with Caleb next round. He might be. Definitely not mine. Wow. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what he does. I mean, I'm all for game unique. I'm all for doing some interesting things, but like a round 1 pull-up is like taking, AJ Brown in the first round or something like that. And usually it's more mid-round. He goes Loveland Caleb. Yeah, he just missed the memo that DJ Moore is no longer on this team and what year it is. So Spunky not letting him get Josh Allen, I like that. But no, I mean, Allen ball in a couple spots, you take him, feels good. I mean, this is definitely a fairly unique combo. Gibbs, Bowers, London. Still don't know what to fully do with Josh Jacobs. It's obviously sounding better, but it is a concern. I will. I'll take Scadaboo. Injury doesn't worry me so much. The talk and the buzz of Scadaboo just being the feature guy on this team. I mean, Jackson Dart's saying it. I think that's the mentality we know that Harbaugh would like. I think it makes a lot of sense. So Jacobs is a better back, but I do worry about his situation. All right, coming up here, a couple picks. Devontae Adams goes. That would be my primary target. Don't like Waddle. Could go JMO for the big Detroit kind of stack. Could take the falling Jacobs. I think Monty's fun also. I think I will go. I'll go Jacobs, get the little fall. Like really big fall from where he started in this contest. So I only have one receiver so far, but I'm probably only going 2 tight ends with Bowers. And so I'll have 9 receivers. With Jacobs, I don't know if I feel good about going, 4 or even 5 running backs. Oh boy, Pacheco. 4-10 and unstacked Burrow. This is an interesting draft. Well, hopefully it doesn't get thrown out with the Pacheco pick. DJ Quill saying, I'm going to DK slow in the 4th hole when Jeremiah Love, Dobbins, and Price. Yeah. I mean, DJ Quill shares a name with DJ Moore, and I don't think she's taking DJ Moore the 3. No, I mean, you were right when you said, DJ Quill, that these $3 are just the wild west. Yeah, it's got to go. If the 103 comes out of this pod, we should be ashamed. I mean, I was going to initially say it's like he cut off the first, couple rounds of ranks because, where Rice goes now. Rice goes later now, generally. Burton goes a little later. Moore goes later. He got 3 third-round receivers, so that's something. But the Pacheco pick, oh boy. Don't know what to make of that. This would get tossed on UD. I mean, the Pacheco pick, I think, would first Parker Washington share. I'm feeling Bowers and Loveland will be huge this season. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. Like Loveland, year 2, DJ Moore being gone, those targets are going to filter. They're not going to go to, Khalif Raymond, because it wasn't just DJ Moore. Zacchaeus is gone as well. So I think Loveland and Burton become big-time beneficiaries. All right, this might be another Tate team. I think that is where I go. really having big time quarterback stacks here. The best one is probably Goff or Dart. More from a team correlation standpoint. So do I take a quarterback here like a Daniels or Hurts, or stick with getting more wide receiver firepower? Definitely don't need Warren with Bowers. Yeah, I mean, I know there's a metric for like how many essentially off the wall picks they will try and look for, but don't know if DK will toss this. So I think I go quarterback. I like getting top end quarterbacks here. Jaden Daniels. There's some backstack options. Could have. If I have Chig as my number 2 tight end with Bowers, very, very good with that. Pretty early on Kelsey and Diggs as well. I'm just wondering what year of ranks is this person using? That's my biggest question at this point. All right. CC Rabbit for his picks, yeah. Might toss if is a millionaire, but don't know about. But I've had about this, but I have had $3 drafts tossed. I mean, I can't remember. Like, I think maybe I had one last year tossed. Actually, I know that I did. It was, but I think it was a millionaire. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they'll toss this. Like, the only one really totally off the wall, is the Pacheco pick. That's just way, way too high. Like, even the Kelsey and Diggs, like, yes, they're like 30, 40 picks up, but the Pacheco pick is like 100 picks, too high. And especially like your RB1, like, it's just clear you're just not going to compete at that point. Yeah. It's tough to say what they toss and what they won't. Like, sometimes it's clear as day, but this one, I don't know. Get Michael Wilson again. No, I like Godwin here, Pittman, Jacoby Myers. I'll take Pittman. Put Gainwell in the mix here. Like Ty Simpson first round to get tossed on DK. Yeah. I don't think they'd toss it for the Moore pick, or like Burden around and half too early, or Rice half around too early. It's the Pacheco one. Even like I said, even the Kelsey stuff, I don't think it is a tossable offense. I think it is the Pacheco one is the only one that could get this like really tossed. Drafters Mini 2 is live. Nice. I wanted to check it out later. Probably not be entering too many of those early on because I'm doing so many slows on the Mini 1 right now. So let it sit a bit, but it's good that that is out. So I should get one of these receivers back. Trevor Lawrence falls interesting. No running back feels like a need. Lawrence and Daniels have the same bye, so that's a little less interesting. Could take Goff again. I think I go with one of these receivers. Okay, that could get it thrown out. Sam Roush. That could get it thrown out. Oh boy. I'll take Chris Godwin. I'm now feeling less likely that this draft stays. Missed what their other pick was. Oh, CJ Stroud. I mean, again, that's early, but nothing to get thrown out on. Yeah. Now I'm feeling like there's a real chance of this OMG guy, like between the check on Sam Roush picks and then like a collective, like everything's 1 to 3 rounds off otherwise. Yeah, no, nice that the Drafters Mini 2 is live. I agree. TJ Quill, this draft turned less nice. Dude, heard you say is still maybe getting thrown out instead of hold my beer, Sam Roush. I mean, could be to Haynes' point. He's just building out this bear stack. He just doesn't know which guys are still in the Bears. And maybe he doesn't know Diggs is on, and maybe Diggs goes back to Houston. Maybe he thinks Diggs Stroud is a stack again. Just looking at the Drafters Mini 2, it is 18,000 entries, so this one will fill pretty fast. I don't know if I'll max this one as well, since I maxed the first one. Yeah, he should handcuff Sam Roush with Cole Kmet. That might be his next pick, so you might have called it. I mean, we see this in a lot of drafts. Sam Roush just right between Sam Laporta and Kyle Pitts in terms of tight ends. I think Kyler. This draft stays. I have 2 very mobile, fun upside quarterbacks. I'm just not very confident that this draft stays at this point. At least that one's close to the mark with Rashard White. Oh, Meg would, what did she do? Did she call him a dumbass? He took Aaron Rodgers. So I'll take the Ricky P fall. But yeah, not feeling great about this draft now. Yeah, no, I hear you, Spunky. It's a good team, but we will see. I'm the key. Yeah, first I've seen it looks like he's feeding you. It definitely wasn't feeding me. But yeah, no, it doesn't feel great. That's for sure. Don't know. Like, I guess I understand us 11 other drafters are getting better all-around teams, though, you do run the risk of, if you're the Nico team and you wanted Stroud, or I did have Michael Pittman Jr., like Aaron Rodgers was definitely on the mix to be a third quarterback for me. And of course, you take, think you're going to get Mahomes and then take Kelsey. Of course, Kelsey went off the board earlier, but is it really benefiting that much the rest of us? And theoretically, with the collusion aspect, you're benefiting like one person. Is it really benefiting our teams that drastically? From a standpoint of it's now a 2 of 11, sure, but I don't think it's like, let's say the two teams that were to make this pod stays. Are we that much better? Because we still had to have gotten the right guys, for the playoffs and etc. So definitely we're going to be more unique, but I just don't know if you're that drastically better. Now I could see overall collusion, you have 2 or 3 dead teams doing this, and then 2 or 3 2 teams ideally trying to push 2 teams to make the playoffs and really stacking them up. But yeah, I don't know. Not that I'm saying I like it, I'm saying I just don't know why people do it. That's the question I'm asking here. I will go Woody Marks. So 2, 4, 5, 1. Chig gets back, I would just stack them up. If not, I will probably take a quarterback. Yeah, I know. I know, but good to see you calling baby turn lights off. No, it's just the Aaron Rodgers pull up. Meg typically approves of those, but definitely not in this situation where it's probably getting a draft thrown out. Elijah Surratt. He's taking some of my favorite players, so can I hate on him too much? Odell Beckham, Elijah Surratt. Gotta do it. Sorry, it's just definitely frustrating when I think now it's clear. They really should at this point. Yeah, I mean, if you're the Caleb team winning Roush, that'd be the idea, Mike. Instead of us wasting 45 minutes, yeah. Whoa, I mean, Miko took one draft where they took Goddard, Jacob Stafford in the first 3 picks, and then drafted normal the rest of the draft. I guess they're trying to, that's actually even to me more of an indication of collusion, because then you're trying not to get it thrown out, but you're making the first 3 rounds better for other people. But yeah, I just don't get it. Yeah, well, I mean, and I'm not trying to cast aspersions on anyone, but let's just say there was someone in here who they were working with. It's like, did they make that team drastically better than what one could have gotten otherwise? Obviously I'm not colluding with them, but just because I don't want to throw shade on anyone else. But let's say I was working with this guy. Is my team drastically better than I would have gotten? I mean, yeah, you don't typically get Gibbs at 4, but in London coming back to me, he's not the only reason. Like, Rice is a fairly defensible pick, probably more so in the 3-3 than the 2-10, but yeah, like, others could have taken London. I don't know. I guess I just don't feel like my team is massively better than it would have been if this guy drafted fairly straight and, relatively around ADP. I'm generally getting these guys, like, yeah, maybe a little fall here, like Ricky, but he's been falling, Pittman in the draft I just didn't he go like 100 or 99 something? I feel like it was later than the 93, so I don't know. I just don't see the upside. Had Mark Gronkowski on the 10th in Millie today. Oh my god. I'm sad he didn't go Caleb. All right, let me make this pick, then I'll keep going chat. Receiver-wise, I know Jennings is a stack, but I'm going to go Trey Tucker. So I'm at 2-4-6-2, stopping at 2 tight ends. Might just grab a third quarterback here. Do like some of these receivers though. Hawkinson would be my pick if I was going 3 tight ends. I just don't think it makes enough sense. Like I said before, your flex just doesn't hit the tight end position nearly enough. Might go Boston's tempting. I think I'll go Denzel Boston. Also, if you like going heavy wide receiver or running back in the beginning of the drafts, I've done about 30 so far, and I like the teams I drafted where I go heavy wide receiver and get stacks with them later. On DraftKings, I like that more. Like if we're talking underdog, I'm more heavy running back. But DraftKings, I'm much more open to being heavy wide receiver. I know it wasn't really much this team. But I do think you can get some fun combos in 3 or 4 in the first 6 rounds that feel really good. That is true. And when it's like 1 round or even 18 spots, people do some crazy stuff. It's the Pacheco's, the Sam Roush's, a few of these others that are like, oh, clearly not good. What did you want to be the 103 pick? And could be. This guy could just be ahead of time for sure. These last 2 picks were normal. Juwan Jennings, he actually got maybe a little value on Jennings and Hawkinson. So now seeing a 2-4-7-2, still probably going 9 receivers, but might wait a bit on it. All right. I'll be up here in a couple picks. I did want to let people know I'm going to be on with Andrew tonight on Lineup Legends. We will be drafting on Underdog, a BBM. So definitely check that out tonight. That is 9:30 Eastern tonight on our channel. So looking forward to that one. And I can tell you for a fact, DJ Moore will not be a first-round recommendation for us. Take Geno for 3rd quarterback. Yeah, no, if he took Scatterville 1-3, in Rodgers where he did, and we would totally love this draft. I'll prove it too if you're in my draft. Yeah, I know you guys are down on Scatterville, but I think he's about to get a big workload. As long as this injury keeps progressing well, which it sounds like it is, wheels up. Oof, I will have to get some in. Damn it. I'm just hoping to give it a break. I've got like 100 slows going on drafters right now. All right, let's see what this guy leaves me. And I'd like to go running back here. Take Emma Johnson. I think a real chance to be RB2 in Kansas City. And I just think some of these rookies are going a little too late. Like Evan Johnson, Katron goes a little higher on DK. Mike Washington, I know it's not the most inspiring rookie running back class, but these guys are probably pretty clear number twos. And, I think they have varying standalone value. But if anything happens to a guy in front of them, they obviously can take pretty big value. I mean, Katron's, I wouldn't call it clear number two, but actually could be number two even without, he could jump ahead of chasing him. I think that's a 3-man back. You'll be filled by my stream tomorrow, Will. Yep. I guess I'm going to be with you, DJ Quill, because I can't have zero. Scatteroo plays like Mike Allstott, but needs to have a little bit more Dylan Sampson. Don't like being hit. His body won't hold up taking all those hits. I mean, I guess, but it's also that's not what the issue was. The issue actually was he wasn't playing like Mike Allstott. He was playing like a pass catching back, and he got, you can call it a hip drop tackle, whatever you want to call it. Honestly, if he was playing like Mike Allstott, he wouldn't have gotten hurt last year. It is one way to look at it. Because he was going out on an actual route and dusted the linebacker, and so the linebacker had to, kind of do I don't think it was a true hip drop tackle, but it was a more dangerous tackle. It is Quill's fault. No, I mean, Scatteroo, there's no doubt he's playing to a lot of contact, but that's what a lot of running backs are. Quinton Junkins is the same thing, and honestly, worse offense and doesn't have the passing role. That's kind of like the argument that I have is similar injuries, similar style of players. I think Judkins is a better runner, but Scatteroo is more all-around back and just is on a better offense. Jerry Bernard, I think, is fun in this range. Might go Braylon Allen again. I think that's a good pick. I feel like running back dries up quicker, even though receiver was pretty dead last time. I'm going to go Braylon Allen. Now just take 2 receivers down the stretch. Starts kind of a stacks with meteorologists. Yeah, I mean, long term, not gonna argue about that. But yeah, I guess I just feel like we have a lot of these guys who play that way, and we're not knocking many others. It is the way I look at it. So you can let me have a chance. Because Scatteroo, and I said this when he came out, he reminds me a lot of James Conner. James Conner's had a lot of, injury history, but when he's on the field, he's a very good football player. And David Montgomery's kind of in that same department. Monty's had a lot of years missing 2-3 games. But that doesn't prevent him from being a fantasy asset when he's out there. Jaron Bernard coming back would be nice. Let's not actually make a good pick one time. Trin. He does have Rodgers, so it would make sense for him. Here we go. All right. Just one more round. We'll go over these teams and get on out of here. I appreciate everyone for joining, commenting, jumping in these drafts. Of course, meeting our Fanspeak members. And as I said before, I will be back on tonight doing Underdog with Andrew at 9:30. Just saw the report that Aaron Donald is likely to unretire. Oh boy. I think Aaron Donald probably still has it. So Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett line is going to be pretty damn scary for opposing offenses. Trash Scatterbo. Boy, that is going to be, yeah. I'll be very interested to see what happens with the Rams defense if Aaron Donald unretires. I think we need to take them, with the additions they added in the secondary, mainly from the Chiefs, some of their other young talented players as well. Adding Myles Garrett and bringing Aaron Donald back, that defense could be in line with the Texans defense. All right, so coming back last round, we'll just add a receiver to this team. And see where we are at. Speaking of odd builds, 2575 for Nate Dogs here. And Ferguson, Otten, and then Colby Parkinson, David Njoku, and Raridan. That's an interesting build structure. Right, so coming up here, one pick to go, going receiver. I'll probably be scrolling down. And yeah, boy, does it get picked over. I think I'm going to go Jalen Noel. I just don't think enough people are giving him enough credit. He essentially needs to beat out Tank Dell for a role. He's year 2, Tank Dell's year 4. Tank Dell's missed the amount of time Tank Dell's missed with injury is insane. I don't think people are giving enough credit. All right. right. I will wrap this up. I'll go over my team and Spunky's team for being a Fanspeak member. OMG Godlike went 3-4-9-4 on this team, so he went the hyper-fragile running back approach as well. Definitely a few interesting builds here. 3-5-7-5. Definitely an intriguing way to build. I mean, the running backs I think are fine for that team. I just don't know why you go 5 tight ends. I think this pick particularly, I mean, honestly, both these picks are just better suited just about anywhere else. I would imagine you're pretty fine with Ferg, Otten, and Parkinson. All right. So my team, quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels, Kyler Murray, and Geno Smith. Not the most stacked up team, but that's, this was kind of obviously a weird draft. And I didn't take, top end receivers with quarterback options. So running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs, Cam Scatterbo, Josh Jacobs. That could be fantastic with Woody Marks, Emmett Johnson, and Braylon Allen tacked on. Tight ends was just Bowers and Chigakonkwo. So absolutely fine stopping 2 tight ends there. Receivers, Drake London, which I do get a follow on, Carnell Tate, Michael Pittman, Chris Godwin, Ricky Pearsall. Still 5 that I feel good about. Obviously if this draft holds up, Trey Tucker, Denzel Boston, I think are pretty good values there as well. And then tacking on Jaron Bernard and Jalen Dole. So some more young youth and upside there. Overall, I mean, we'll see if this team stays, but even though it's not the most quote unquote stacked team, I think there's just a lot of value here. I think every room has spike week guys, has major ceiling plays. Receiver is a bit more like total volume, but it's higher in volume. It's not like the bottom of my receiver room is all last picks. Like guys like Boston and Boston and Tucker can just return a lot of extra value. So Spunky is a Fanspeak member. I'll go over his team. 2-6-9-3, Josh Allen and Jared Goff. Running back room, Martin Hampton, Bashal Tootin, Tony Pollard, Tyron Tracy, Tyler Algier, Jonah Coleman is it. So, Hampton, Tootin, and Tony Pollard, your first 3 appear to be lead backs. Tootin, obviously the one concern there. But then Tyron Tracy, Tyler Algier, 2 good number 2 backs. Jonah Coleman, a fun rookie. It is a bit more of a murky backfield, but a fun rookie there as well. So I think the running back room is fine. That was built. The receiver room, you threw 9 at it. Started with ASB, Terry McLaurin, J-Mo, Jordan Tyson. So very strong out the gates. Khalil Shakir also stacking up, but also fun 5th high floor option, particularly on the full point PPR site. We know there are some games where you can just rack up the catches. Tank Dell, A.D. Mitchell, Skylar Bell, and Kyle Williams. So taking some young swings on guys, guy like Tank Dell, who, I took Jalen Knoll side of that. That's where I'm going to go. But I get, wanting to look for a cheap wide receiver with some upside. Tight end room, Mark Andrews, Brenton Strange, and Gunnar Helm. So very, very strong tight end room. Mark Andrews, obviously the vet and the touchdown machine. Brenton Strange seems like a young up-and-coming guy. Really, particularly when he came back from injury, looked good down the stretch. And then Gunnar Helm, their Chig's gone. They didn't really replace him. So it should be his tight end job, 100%. So I like how that team came together as well. Noah over a small guy with multiple season injuries feels like the better bet. And also it's just, the offense coordinator is new and more tied to Noel over Dell is the other thing I look at as well. Mike, fun stream today. Steve, well done. Appreciate that. Hopefully this second draft stays. I'd love that. No, I mean, I think we're all scooping up some value there, but yeah, that was some few wild picks there that hopefully does not get this thrown out, but we'll have to see. Appreciate everyone for jumping in, joining. Like I said, I'll be back on 9:30 tonight with Andrew, Lineup Legends. Catch us here on the Fanspeak Network. Hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Good luck drafting, and I will catch you next time.